Alrighty, people. Positive poll. Here we are, Friday, February 9th, 2024. And, I don't even know how to approach doing these videos anymore because it's very discouraging to see the social media frauds dominate these corrupt social media platforms. And we know the satanic power structure will not allow any of their victims to use these platforms to speak out adversely. Now, they keep my channel on YouTube only up for the reason is they need to keep an eye on me. Now, they do have this Mickey Mouse Community Watch Snitch Network that has been bought off to peek out their window and get their little bit of chump change, but it's all based off of me. Meanwhile, the supposed cartel still runs around amok. All you gotta do is just, I guess, watch the news. Murder and mayhem almost every day. But yet, do you think any of these snitches would get a phone call about them? No, folks. They would be running, hiding under their beds if these types were standing in front of their security cameras that were given to them. They wouldn't dare lift a finger to do anything to correct that situation because they know what would happen if they begin to stalk, harass, play games with these cartel people. They're going to end up dead. Plain and simple. Or, in a very serious accident or one of their family members. Now, I've been dealing with this in this specific location for over 8 years. But this goes way back. We understand how this works. If you're a satanic ritual abuse survivor, you've been marked from birth. If you're an American, you're a good chance if they were connected to the military-industrial satanic complex, your parents sold you out. Maybe some were fully immersed in bed with these Satanists. Others might have somehow been duped, didn't understand what they were doing. But these children would have been isolated. And the ones that survive, they will go through hell and high water and spend millions of dollars to ensure that they are discredited. Any type of witness against any of these Satanists, then they will find a way to keep you broke and destroy any type of support. That's why they follow you around. One of the reasons why people are followed around is because they want to know who you're talking to. And if they find out someone may want to support the individual, they will do whatever it takes to break down that support. Now, interestingly enough, this video I was working on last Sunday when the helicopter came over and outstayed its welcome. Usually it just does one pass and that's it. But this time it hung around. The one video was over 4 minutes. And they were blasting off these directed energy EMP bursts. And I know I captured at least one of the EMPs. But the point is, I was working on this video and they crashed my iPad. Now this iPad, I don't know what it is about this iPad, but they can't destroy it. They've crashed it, they've hacked it, but it's still functioning. The battery's definitely dying on it. But I'm gonna try to just go over these screen captures and some random narration because I don't know how to approach these videos anymore. And it's getting kind of old for me. Unless I had something really important in the way of prophetic breakthrough, I would share that, even knowing that the information will still be censored and the social media frauds will immediately lap that up and try to make it as if it's their own. Because, see, they don't have time to, I guess, study. They don't have time to read. They don't have time to contemplate on what this is about. And the easy way out of this is you just pretend to be something you're not and use the information that, unfortunately for me, I mean, I'd always, had been looking into the Bible. These Satanists know, going way back, I had spent time in churches praying, trying to somehow find solace to this very difficult situation, knowing that you live in a world that is very contradictory and it's full of lies. And the only way you get by is as if you stick your head in the sand. If you're a good person and you know that America is specifically in a post-World War II perspective has been ran by these Satanist, dirty dog, Draco, reptoid Hollywood hybrid hacks, and the real men and women that maybe, were, I guess, they would see some of these activities go on and just horrified. And the minute they spoke out or tried to go up the chain of command, hey, you know what would happen, folks. Lives have been destroyed. And back in the late 40s, 50s, 60s, even up until I'd say the 80s, they just, murder people outright or suicide them. So the question for me really is, do we live in a dimension that these so-called aliens or fallen angels, Lucifer, whatever you want to call it, has somehow been able to worm their way into this dimension, and they are the overarching control as far as this backwards-ass Babylonian satanic usury system of servitude they set up that we're all chained to? No one can break free. And the ones that they think that they somehow, well, you always hear, hey, I went to college, I worked hard, and started my own business, and this is where my success came from. No, they need these types to keep this Ponzi scheme going because nothing's adding up. If you took an actuary and it started examining all these accounts in the United States and where they're going, the fraudulent Social Security, disability, the other programs that people use fake identification for, they take their family members' identification and use that. And if you start, adding up the numbers, you'll see that it's destined to collapse under its own weight. They can't keep this up. And at the same time, while they're handing out money to these would-be downtrodden, looking for a better life groups that are coming up through the South, that they're doing that and at the same time spending millions of dollars to somehow try to shut me up. So the deal is, people, are there aliens using holographic technology? Do these degraded Edomites with the degraded DNA that have no salvation, do they use the technology? And how would you determine who's who? Now, let's just randomly go through some of these screen captures, and we're gonna ask ourselves, is this an alien, a Palladian, what, an Arcturan? Is it a reptilian? Or what are some of the other ones? The B Sirius group, right? On and on and on. Or is this an Edomite? Or is it a sellout human, meaning Jacob? Because, see, Lucifer, one of the things Lucifer loves is when he can get Jacob to sell out and start selling out their family. He puts these types at the top of the list. They have more preference than Satan's own children, the children of the wicked one. Because, see, a soul in the spiritual realm, it must have value, right? You hear about all these soul transfers, all this garbage, the new age garbage, and then the aspect of these slippery, slimy, sleazy super soldiers, hybrid, secret space program, all this stuff. But if it all just comes down to Lucifer wanting to take souls to hell with him, because this is where he ends up I mean, I know a lot of you out there, you don't like to hear the story that this little so-called roller coaster ride that you're on is just an ongoing situation. There's never an end to it. And, like I always say, apparently, look, they get to continue to do this up until the last day when Yahweh pulls the plug and then everything is shut down. And that's what it will take to wake up these Benedict Arnolds in the United States. Now let's look at Billy Graham. Alien, Edomite, or sellout. Now, a lot of you out there on social media, if it's any indication, any metric of trying to gauge who may be a reptilian or not, what we have on social media is pathetic. And I'll keep repeating it because, look, I'm still here, I'm still breathing, and you individuals that hang around these supposed reptilian shapeshifter expose channels, all right, with your childlike comments. No one knows who you are, what you're about. Let's check your bank accounts and see what you're up to. But yet you can be on social media and run your yaps about this. And everybody with the slit eyes are reptilian. Now, you know what? I was so caught up in this going back years ago that I thought the same thing. But I also thought that if someone had been put through satanic ritual abuse, some type of crazy experimentation, would they display the attribute of the slit eye? And the answer is yes, people. Wake up. So you still have these ninnies. Oh, everybody with the slit eyes, reptilian. Well, I'm going to tell you, and from my post 2020 up to this day, when you really examine social media, oh man, the percentage of the slit eye is well over 50%. So these individuals that make these childlike comments on social media, that you'll never see their mugs up anywhere. They won't let you examine them because, see, they've got something to hide, people. Now, I want to know, is Billy Graham a reptilian? Is he an alien using holographic technology? Is he just an Edomite, man? That, hey, this is, I don't know if you people realize, again, within the satanic sphere of influence, within this satanic power structure, post-World War II perspective, they took over all the institutions, all right? Legal, medical, judicial, religious, and on, and now it's filtered down into blue collar. Because, see, no one believes the remnant is real. No one believes that the 144,000 could be real. And why would Yahweh let these people just continue? No one knows who they are, right? No one has conclusively stood up and said, this is why I am part of the remnant. Here's my family history, and yada, yada, yada. We're still waiting on that, folks, right? You hear about these watchmen and other types. Oh, we're gonna go up there and get our glorified bodies and come back and fight Satan. Fight these lazy lying lizards. Well, look, see, no one can tell you what his deal is, but what I'll tell you is, you see a hand, thumb, 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers. But you do see Mr. Graham looking a little odd. Now, this is one of the things that I guess they don't want you to see. And, okay, this will do this. I'm not going to be... Oh, okay, there you go. There you go. Now, look at his eyes. Now, look at both his hands right here. Can I get... There we go. Now... I look, as far as my count goes, I see what looks like a thumb and three other fingers. Now, how this would happen, I'm not sure. But let's get right there. Okay, there you go. Very close up on that. Looks like it's coming in. It's not out of focus. Let me see if I can do something here. You see that? I know it's not coming in perfect focus, but look, you get the point. You can clearly see it's not adding up. Now, let's go over here. Again, I'm looking. I need 4 fingers. I don't know how he does this trick, but notice his eyes. His eyes never change. Now imagine if you were like a little kid, okay? You're a little kid and you know, this guy's coming to tuck you in bed at night. And he's got these creepy eyes. He's got these hands coming at you to give you a big hug goodnight. Would you be freaking out? So, yes, something is not right. Okay, so there's Billy Graham. Now, here's the point, folks. On YouTube now, specifically, they have these lazy lying lizards that created these shape-shifting channels. And these frauds have some of them over 1 million subscribers. And they use the work of myself and others. All right? Because look, I know I'm not in this alone. It's just that, see, no one's really allowed to talk to me. I am, what do they say, persona non grata? Because see, they didn't like me back in 2016-17 when I was trying to figure out what this targeted individual community was all about. And then, you know, just you come to the conclusion these people can't be real, and now they're all gone, every single last one of them. It's a whole new batch of these freaks that you don't know who they are. They can't tell you anything, but they still parrot the same stuff. Directed energy, all this garbage, which a lot of it does go on, folks. But see, again, with these directed energy weapons, they don't just get put in the hands of some dopey little community watch snitch. A trained operative uses these weapons, and they're not going to go out of their way to hassle some, I guess, what was the one story I heard? Oh, yeah. Somebody was in the TAG program, the For Gifted Children or something, and that's how they found themselves in the Montauk Project, hanging out with Preston. But the kid can't tell you his age, and he looks like he's maybe barely 20 years old. So, yeah. So, see, the thing of it is, now what they did is we did have an effect. And the way they mitigate that is that they just create more channels, more social media frauds that use the information. They regurgitate a lot. I've proven myself to keep things fresh, and I'm going to do that once again when I wrap it up here. So we know that there's some serious problems with the satanic power structure within the United States. It's crumbling. If Satan is divided against itself, the House of Cards can't stand. Okay, so we saw Billy Graham, and there's Papa Bush, and he's just a lackey. Now here's the thing that people don't understand, and this is how I know who the frauds are and who the families are that claim to be a part of the Illuminati. Now here's a picture of Bush, Billy Graham, and Uncle Carl. Had to be, probably my guess, sometime in the mid to late 80s, because Papa Bush is still looking quite young, but Uncle Carl would be well over 100 years old. That's why he's hanging on for dear life in that boat, and he probably doesn't want his picture taken either. Now, see, the thing with Bush is I assume that he's just an Edomite, and I assume Graham is too, but see, Uncle Carl's Jacob, he's sold out. And the thing of it is, this is the part that, even I noticed Carrie Cassidy's making more uploads on YouTube. She don't get this, and she probably does. But see, she's part of within the satanic sphere of influence. Once Jacob sells out and he's proven to be loyal to Lucifer, they will have carte blanche over even Lucifer's people, because that's a soul that Lucifer was able to take to hell with him. And what happens is, once you're within the satanic sphere of influence and you work your way up the ladder as you get older, you have access to, let's just say, healthcare that's out of this world. And there's ways to fight aging. There's ways, if you do get sick, can simply, who knows? Some say it's just a simple pill. Med beds. But see, I claim and I know that, see, Uncle Carl, not exactly who they say he is. They say he's Junior, born in 1919. But guess what? I disagree. It'd be impossible that someone born in 1919, the son of a milkman, an ice cream maker, gets out of World War II. No, see, he had been around for a long time, and I'm sure he was the black sheep of the family. My family was tracked. They ran out of Bavaria, hightailed it out of there in 1868. And these children that were ended up being born in New York, some were born in Bavaria. All right, they look, these Satanists, they don't just forget about these families. So somehow Uncle Carl was the weak link, and they claim that this guy has nothing to do with me. Well, see, here's how it works. They can't kill me, folks. I've had attempts on my life over this, and they've been keeping me broke. I'm blacklisted. And all the meanwhile, I see these social media frauds again. They have all the privacy to make their videos, this expensive audio recording equipment. They use my information and others. This is how it's worked over the years. We don't even know how many these victims they were able to eliminate through a time-tested method. And it starts all by breaking down their ability to have employment and have money. Because if you have money, you can fight these. If I had money, I would probably buy some recording equipment. I'd definitely get another phone. I'd definitely get another iPad, because this thing's just about had it. But see, the question is we know what these two are up to. But see, what I'm telling you people is the real people that pull the strings, they're not out. They're not politicians. They're not out in the public. All right? Their lot in life, Lucifer has them very well kept, well hidden. They only come out when they need to. And if you dare question any of their activities or where they've been for the past couple days or week, well, that might be met with some stiff resistance. So I know what I'm dealing with, and that's okay. Because see, when you see Uncle Carl counseling Tricky Dick, telling him, the good news is, Dick, we're going to let you live, but you got to resign there, buddy boy. You need to step down right away, and we'll let you go. We'll let you have your library, let you write your books, run your mouth. But you just get the hell out of town right now, and you cover up all these children that we can't kill off because they're part of the remnant. Do you comprende, mi amigos? Now, these super soldiers, the big super soldier summit, June 23rd, 2012. It's all, look, when you look, if I could do a conclusive video lining up these dates, when things happen, who said what, there look, case closed. Now let's slow down for a minute. Here's something. I'm going to get back into the Montauk thing. Until the day I die, I'm going to be beating this up. This guy, Chris LaSala, he seems like he's a very good guy, been around for a long time. He had an experience with Stuart Swerdlow. He even went out to Michigan and come to find out that Swerdlow's not on the up and up. How about that, folks? Is that amazing? Now, who's been telling you this for quite some time? And what's interesting is 10 years ago, right, Chris LaSala does this hit piece on Swerdlow and tears him apart. But look who shows up in the comments section. I only just saw this. I am Max Spear's mother. He died August 2016. Thank you for your unbelievable insight. And I couldn't open it up. It was only a little more. But see, somehow she just realized that this guy Swerdlow is a scammer. And, you know, what happened is apparently, you know, she got clued in to LaSala's video, must have been researching about Swerdlow, something happened. But the funny thing is here she is with Swerdlow and Max toasting each other. So, look, people can change their minds. They can after diligent research and probably more than likely prayer, you can come to the truth and you'll understand, oh my God, I've been dealing with a bunch of frauds, a bunch of Satanist frauds that they've only got one way out, the lazy lying lizard way out. That's it. Lie through your teeth. Because what's it about? Destroying Jacob. Get it through your thick heads, people. So yeah, that's I find that odd that Max Spear, him and his mom are hanging out with Swerdlow. Now remember, Swerdlow gets a little tongue-tied, all right? All milly mouth. Now, I'm going to do a more, the main thing that Sunday I wanted to go over is this paralysis by microwaves by Richard M. Neal Jr., MD. He's a contributor to MUFON, but this is from the MUFON Journal back in 1989. But this guy gets in a very detailed description of these UFO alien abductees and how it relates to their complaints concerning microwave directed energy. And this is going to be left for an individual video, but that's what I was working on when they were buzzing around. Now, quickly, see, the thing with me is I can show you actually real life pictures of these freaks, these agents. And you've seen this before if you people have been watching me. This is when I was returning from the United States, but what was this, back in 2022, December of 2022. And one of these agents, these hybrid freak agents, followed me into Mexico to make sure that I made it in there and then determine where I was going to end up at. So I picked up on him right away. And then sure as hell, if you watch the video, this is from a video, the helicopter is circling above. But the point is, this is the moment he understands that I got the phone right on him, very quick. But right here in the corner of his head, you see how it starts, it's looking like it's getting out of shape. It's getting like these grooves, and his eye also, how it's demonically distorted. But what happens is, I've explained this. You can see where he's starting to develop. It looks like a third nostril. But when you get right up on on his grape where you get these straight edge lines, all right? Here's the thing. I'm trying to decide who has seen any of these so-called aliens with the holographic technology and seen it in real life actually start to they can't stabilize it. It's the movement, it's something, but when they get nervous, they can't stabilize the hologram. Now we have to understand that this environment we live in is catered to these freaks. Because if all this is true like we think it is, then we're in big trouble. Because see, here's one of the things with the day of the Lord. He's going to change the frequency of this environment. So the technology that holds these freaks together is going to fail. And what happens is, I think it's the garment spotted by the flesh. These individuals that, look at that, looks like a demon coming out of the side of his head. These individuals will look like they have sores all over their body. They'll look like they've got some type of plague, which it will be a plague. But the people in Christ, the people that still have their soul, the people that have faith in the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ, they will be spared from these plagues. And that's the thing that I try to tell with these snitches down here, and they laugh at me. That, you know what? You're going to see people walking around here one day, and they're going to look all banged up. All right? Sores all over their body. And then that's how you know you got a tear, and you stay the hell away from them. So, yeah, look at that. Take a good look. So what happens is, he's freaking out. He's got baby Yui coming out of his forehead. You can see the demonically distorted eyeballs. But what happens, folks? He has to immediately cover himself up. And then what happens after that, folks? We know this. It's something they have to touch their face. Touch the area that's going haywire. Now, they all do it. They all do it. Do you understand that? It doesn't matter. From the lowly, hybrid, maybe Freemason operative? I don't know how to describe these guys, right? But look, we know all the groups and all that are involved in this. And it's just amazing that, they have carte blanche. But see, like I said, the environment. Now, here's something I dug up, and here's the thing with these hybrids, folks. I keep telling you, the age groups after World War II, they probably, once Nuremberg was done, all right, these guys were in the labs, and they were doing whatever it is they're doing, having these crazy orgies, however it works. But these hybrids, they got turned into movie stars, rock stars. Now, this is Phil Lesh trying to describe in an interview on how he came to the love of music through his grandmother. But the problem is, his schnoz starts to turn into Pinocchio. I don't know if you could see that. And just one more, because we don't need to dwell on him. But do you see how the chunks, where his ear shifts, right here, but everything in the picture is just fine. Look at the brickwork. How about that? Look at the detail on the bookcase. But the tear is looking a little whacked out. A little wackadoodle, huh? Now, this is one thing I wanted to show you. And here's where YouTube really is good. Other than providing us these shapeshifter clips from these freaks, there is a channel called CCR's Vault, and it's all about Ireland. And I'm very fascinated about Ireland because, hey, these Celts, right? Scotland over there. But they had started a rock festival over in Slane, Ireland. And the very first festival was 1982 with the Rolling Stones. They did it 83, and then 84, Bob Dylan played the festival, but there was a huge riot. I mean, it must have been a hell of a thing, and Bob Dylan concert of all things. But here we go. The following year, all right, Springsteen does the festival. Now, they only show a short clip of Springsteen. It looks like him, and I guess that's Nils Lofgren maybe. But they finish the song, and they're getting the crowd fired up. They're, the guitar's in their hand. They're shaking it. Clearly, that's the boss. But now look at this within this action sequence. Look what happens to his face. Look at that. It looks like there's a welder's mask on his face, folks. All right? Look. Again, that's clearly Bruce Springsteen. But that, I don't know. Maybe he's welding some rivets together. I don't know, folks. So, the capper. Here's Alex back in 1995 complaining about a Texas city councilman reporting on his, his ramshackle hoarder house. But something's not right. And now look at this. This is Alex from the other week. And see, even the best of them, they tuned him up. They let him do his little monkey court thing. $1 billion, right? This guy, trust me, he's still doing fine. But very, very strange that Alex, whatever his name is, Jim, I don't know. I don't care either. When you see that, that's a red flag. That's raising questions right there. Because they're all the same, people. If these freaks live, if there's aliens here, and they've been here, and they're using this holographic technology, and they set this system up, and they use the English language, and they're lazy lying Juilliard-trained schools of lazy lying lizardly. Hey, take it for what it's worth, and, if you don't believe me, what can I tell you?